Hey, what's up everybody? Radex here, the one from 72, the ultra neutral, and today I'm going to be bringing you somebody else's video. Yes, straight from the horse's mouth instead of me repeating stuff that they've already said, or some things that I've actually said that it's funny when I find other people saying this stuff. It's like, yeah, I guess so I'm not the only one saying certain things, which makes sense because it's just like, okay, this is just basic logic. Or some things that people are saying that they've had alien experiences, alien contact, and they're just repeating the same stuff that I'm saying as well. So I'm going to be posting up a lot of their videos, and these are people, most of them, who don't have really any editing skills. So I'm going to try to do them justice by putting some really nice edits, some music in the background, and really dressing up their videos a little bit just to make them better. But I will put a link so that way you can see where the original video came from. Please go to their channel, like, share, subscribe their content, because obviously they have good stuff that's worth listening to. The first person that I want you to listen to that I'm going to be posting on this video, he reminds me of Jim Cornette. If you don't know anything about wrestling, then you wouldn't know what I'm talking about. There is an ex-manager in wrestling who was called, he used to hang out with Jimmy Hart, which was a Mouth from the South. Jim Cornette was the guy who had the tennis racket, which is funny because he kind of looks like Jim Cornette in a lot of ways too. He kind of looks like Jim Cornette and he sounds like Jim Cornette, and he has a foul mouth like Jim Cornette. So if foul language really bothers you, you're not going to want to listen to his videos. Now his channel is called DracoReptoidsExposed. The only thing that me and him truly have pretty much a disagreement on, because I've listened to, I don't know, probably 40, 50 of his videos. They're that good. It's like I just have been addicted to listening to his stuff. The only thing we have a disagreement on is all the reptilian fear-mongering, right? Like he's bought into it, which I bought into it too. So I'm not blaming him because around 2012, 2013, I stumbled upon David Icke, and I used to listen to his stuff, and I was like, wow, that's crazy. Maybe these things are running the government. But then after I actually had contact, after I really understood them and stuff like that, and then I started, and my mind was unlocked, it makes a whole lot of sense that that's completely wrong. That doesn't even make any sense when you look at the way the system's set up, the bird worship, and all of that stuff, and how, the system is set in place to make you hate the reptilian, to hate, the reptoids. So why would they set themselves up to be hated instead of being worshipped like what you get with the bird god? Okay, so yeah, so that's the only thing. Other than that, all his other videos and all his messages are really good. And I don't know this man. He actually just stopped making videos, I think about 10 or 11 months ago. In the middle of last year, he stopped making videos. So yeah, guys, he's got some good stuff, and I'm going to share that with you now. Yeah, from what I understand, is he had enough. He had enough with dealing with people leaving negative comments and causing problems. And the reason why is not because, and look, here's somebody who's anti, reptilians, reptoids, but he's using pretty much the same message as what I have been saying. He also doesn't believe he has had contact, but I believe he has had contact. He just doesn't know it. And he is a neutral person. When you listen to stuff that he says, it's neutral, and people hate that. They hate neutrality. And that's pretty much, I think, the reason why he gets so much hate and so much pushback, because people want to believe that they have some type of control by latching on to the controllers. And they really have none at all. And they'll find that out here soon. But anyhow, yeah, his video is DracoReptoidsExposed, and you'll see it there on the screen. And I encourage everybody to listen to all of his videos, even the ones that talk about, even when you go over there, and if you want to listen to ones where they talk about all the stuff bad about the reptoids and stuff, go ahead and listen to all that stuff. It's good to listen to everything as much as you can and make your own decisions on what you think. But, please, realize that if there is no evidence, that is exactly how they were able to invade and do atrocities against the Native Americans, the Africans, and against the Vietnamese. So don't get locked into that trap. And yeah, with that, guys, enjoy the video, and I hope you get something really of value out of his messages.
E equals MC squared. How many people have heard that? E equals MC squared. And you can't travel faster than the speed of light. Of course, I think that is total and utter bullshit. Okay, another egotistical human statement. A billion years from now, we'll look back and laugh How many times has knowledge changed through history? Every fucking day. They're proven wrong or adjusted. Every single day. But today, you can't go faster than the speed of light, okay? And it just disgusts me. I'm ashamed sometimes, okay? That the shit that comes out of our human species. I want you to know that I know what a memory looks and feels like to me. What happened to me was not a dream or some memory that I've conceived or thought up to handle my childhood traumas or any of this other bullshit. I'm like everyone else who's had a near-death experience. I drowned. I was in 2nd grade, and I loved to swim. This was in Clear Lake, Red Bud Park. And there was a raft that all the kids, all the big kids used to go to. I just had to go out there too. It was scary. Yeah, you get scared at first, okay? I was cautious, okay, but after a while I thought, yeah, this is easy. I can do this. You know, go underneath and then you could breathe. It was 4 big blocks of styrofoam. And you could see what you were doing, basically. Because once you got underwater, if you opened your eyes, you could see it was light. And you could tell where the edge was. But on this day, it was cloudy. And we were there for the watermelon truck. There was a watermelon truck that came and gave everyone free watermelons. And that was a big deal, you know, for us kids. And I went out there and I remember I jumped off and I went underneath. And I was under there for a while. And I noticed I was getting cold. I was getting the shivers. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go in. So I ducked under like I always did, casual, not one of these big, because I'm just gonna be right over here. And I ducked down and I started headed for the edge, and the edge wasn't there. It's all the same color. That was new. And I remember I started clawing along the bottom of the styrofoam. I can remember my fingers actually going into the styrofoam a little bit because it was a slime on it. I couldn't get a grip, and I'm actually digging in with my fingers. And I remember that it's not giving me much purchase. And I remember the panic building. I remember it like it happened yesterday. The panic like you couldn't believe. I drowned twice. I'll tell you about the second time another time. But I drowned twice. This first time was, the panic was, I remember just this thought of, oh no. And then it was a, oh no. And then it was a, oh no. And just complete panic. And pretty soon I'm screaming in my mind, oh no, oh no. And I started thinking about my mom, that she wasn't going to be able to save me. I knew it. I knew that no one knew that. Come on, you go under there and then you come out, right? Nobody knew that I was under there fucking in trouble. And right at the height of my panic, I remember taking a big of water. And just like that, it switched to a complete feeling of, it's hard to describe, complete calm. Not happiness or joy or anything, just complete total calm, and I guess a feeling of curiosity above anything else, because I saw myself in this position like this, floating down. And I'm watching myself and I'm like, oh, this is what it's like to die. And I said those words to myself. And no sooner did I utter those words than shablam, very violently, I was taken to someplace else. And there was 2 little girls standing in front of me. And I was I don't feel like I was grounded. I feel like I was kind of floating at an angle like this, looking at these little girls. And they weren't afraid of me, but I disturbed them. I could tell something was very wrong. That they didn't like me. That's the sensation I got. That they didn't like me at all, and that I scared them. And they said, "You're not supposed to be here." And that's enough for me now. I'll do another one soon. Okay, I don't know if this is going to end up being a 2-part video or not. It usually does when I get on this subject. I feel it's important. I believe I'm supposed to do the videos where I talk about my near-death experience. That it's important that I tell people out there who are good people, and they've looked for God their whole lives and couldn't find Him. Well, I looked for God my whole life after my near-death experience because I wanted back what I'd lost. It's just not here. And you don't have to feel bad about not finding it here, okay? If your friends are Christians, let them be Christians. They're not bad people. Religion on this planet, it doesn't matter what you believe. Believe what you want to believe, okay? If it makes you feel better, what's the harm in it, all right? If you're going to go out and kill people because they don't believe what you believe, okay, then you've fallen into religion's trap. That is a creation of man, all right? Looking into the near-death experience, I think you'll find what you're looking for there, all right? Don't be afraid of death. I don't know if whoever I'm talking to has seen the video I did on the microtubules. They've discovered that all living cells have these microtubules. And in these microtubules, there's this quantum energy that some people believe stays coherent after death. That's what the near-death experience is that the quantum, that quantum information that makes us, each individual, stays entangled after death. Now, where it goes, I could tell you about my experience. I did videos about my experience the day Larry von Buren died. Where I went was nothing but love and acceptance. There was no religion there. And there's between 80 and 100,000 people a year have these near-death experiences. Now, science has always grouped them into the paranormal, but now a lot of doctors are saying they just cannot explain what's been going on, and that they're starting to do some research. Now, there's an anesthesiologist who basically started this looking into the microtubules because he was interested in where people went during anesthesia. And I believe, like he does, that at the time of death, when your body cells start to break down, these microtubules break down, and now the energy that makes you is now free. I would look into near-death experience and Carillion photography, things that are they're looked at kind of like a pseudoscience right now, but they can't be explained. Is the point? All right. So, it's important that you not fear death. Don't live your life because you're mortal and you're going to die someday. Okay, we all die someday. What would be the point of living forever? Also, what would be the point of knowing the day you're going to die? If somebody told you you're going to die December 12th on 2022 at 12 a.m., your life would be different. You wouldn't live your life the way you're living it right now if you knew the day you were going to die, right? It would completely change everything. So, you're supposed to have a survival instinct. That's what keeps us all from checking out. If we all knew there was a better place on the other side, we would all just say, screw this shit, okay? And we would leave. So, that survival instinct is part of the animal in us that we can't get rid of. We're all mortal and we're all going to die. I've been close to that for a long time, and I've never been happier in my life. And if you knew the day you were going to die, I want you to think about that. If you knew the day you were going to die, you would live your life differently, wouldn't you? Right? So it's all a matter of choices. Life is a matter of choices, all right?
And all you got to do is just try to be a better person tomorrow than you were today, and you'll be fine. All right? You're not going to be judged by some jealous God who kills and destroys and tortures and all that. It's just not. It's not true. It's not true. All right? The God that I saw, you got to earn your way there. But it's something that's it's a natural process. It's the way it's supposed to be. It's just the way it's supposed to be. Right? I don't know the answer to why we have to come in and live this existence, but that's just how it is. You know, there's been an experiment running since the 40s where they fired random particles through a hole in a target, and what they expected to find on the other side was this random pattern, and that's not what happened. A very intricate and delicate pattern emerged. Now, the only way that can happen is if the particle knew where to go, and that's my favorite saying now to my friends when they get upset or depressed or the world's kicking their ass, is the particle knew where to go. Okay? That means that time runs forward and backwards. It's like it's on a reel. It's already been manufactured. And what's going to happen is going to happen. That's it. So just live within those parameters. You know, the particle knows where to go. Just take it for granted that there's a reason behind this and that you're part of that reason. And everybody starts, they come, you know, the Bible thumpers come and start, listen. I don't need it. Okay, I know the Bible just as good as you. I went to bed every night with an audio Bible, okay, for 15 years, trying to find the secret that wasn't there. It was all lies, deception. See? If I wanted to read the Bible, I'd read the Torah anyway, okay, which is the Bible all these guys thought they'd just chop up and make their little version of, okay? So religion, I don't do religion, okay? It's all just humans trying to understand this feeling we all have, this basic tie, okay, we all have, okay, to God. And after I had this experience, I was writing a lot of poetry. I just had this urge to write poetry and basically song lyrics. They were just flowing out of me. And we had an assignment to write some haiku and some poetry. And I did. And my mom was really impressed and thought I did a good job. And I expected I was going to get some big kind of pat on the back, you know what I mean? And the students were reading theirs. And when it got to mine, I got called up in front of the entire class. And she said, "Laren, you didn't write this." She said, "You didn't write this." And I said, "Yes, I did, Miss Duncan." And she said, No, you didn't write this. You're lying. Turn around and look at the class. And naturally, come on, you're second grade, okay? And this authority figure has told you to turn around and face the class, and I want you to tell the class that you did not write this. I said, "Miss Duncan, I wrote those." And she said, "You tell the class right now that you did not write these and that you were lying, or I'm going to send you to the principal." To a second grader? Got to remember, times were different then, okay? I'm 56. I refused. I refused to submit to her psychosis, whatever it was that she had going on, all right? That a second grader couldn't write poetry better than her. That's exactly what I'm thinking. So I got sent to the principal. He sits me down, Mr. Lasnabat, at Hillcrest Elementary School. He's dead now, I'm sure, and so's Miss Duncan. But I want anyone associated with that school district to understand. He asked me the same question. "Did you write these?" And I said, "Yes, I did, Mr. Lasnabat." And I thought he might listen, okay? That this was just some personal thing that Miss Duncan had. He said, "Well, Miss Duncan said you didn't write this." And I believe her. And he gets out his paddle. Corporal punishment was regular then. He brings out his paddle called the Wasp. Anyone who was in my class then remembers all this. With a big wooden paddle with holes drilled in it, and started spanking my ass for a good solid 10 minutes, leaving bruises, trying to make me say I did not write those poems. He sent me back to class. I didn't go back to class. The minute I left his office, I hit the street and I went home.
And I showed my mom where he spanked me. And by then it was bruising up pretty good. And you did not want to fuck with my mom when she was angry. She went up there and tore those people a new asshole. In this day and age, photos would have been taken of me. Those people would have been arrested and fired for taking a talented child with a gift and turning him against anything that had to do with school or authority. Right then. They have no idea how that had changed my life. I wanted nothing to do with it. From that day on, when I was in school, I wasn't doing nothing but fucking daydreaming about getting the fuck out of there. By the time I was 14, I was smarter than all my teachers anyway. It's a personal experience. Only the closest people I know have ever heard this story. And that's why I've been a rebel my whole life, mostly. That's where it all started that day. I haven't forgotten it. Like I said, I'm cursed with a memory. I'm cursed with a memory. Can't remember anything I need to remember. It'll hang on the tip of my tongue for 2 damn weeks, okay? But this shit never goes away. So they sent people to test me, and they said, he's a genius, but just treat him normally. We're not going to give him any special treatment. We're not going to do... But it was too late. I didn't give a shit. She came and asked me a bunch of questions that were fairly simple. I gave her the answers, and I knew what it was all about. From then on out, I wanted nothing to do with school. I want to tell you how that relates to religion. Because I learned right away. I saw it. The same kind of punishment was doled out for the same kind of above and beyond thinking or action. That it had to be like this. The sentence is written like this, and that's how you do it, and that's exactly what it means. Yeah, you know, I do not feel bad about speaking out on religion. I understand the allure. I understand the thousands of years of manipulating information to basically hone your message for people who are weak of will, do not want to think for themselves, want to believe that death is something that is not going to touch them, so that they can believe in an afterlife in heaven. I understand this fear of death and the recognition of your own mortality. It's basically, death to Christians is like, they try to act like it's the icing on the cake, that they'll get to be with God when they die. Their problem is they don't believe, if you don't believe what they believe, they think you're not going to heaven. And that is the problem with all religions. Period. They disgust me. I find them revolting in so many ways, scary in others. I was a hardcore Christian. That lasted about 8 months before I started seeing the horrible hypocrisies, the lies, the deceptions. If you don't think Christians have their shit to hide, look at the Catholics. They've been protecting rapist pedophiles for hundreds of years. They're protecting them today. Okay? Christians, the exact same way. For me, they're all cults. Every one of them is a cult. They don't really look for God. God is there. He's there for anyone who wants to look to see that this is where my realm resides. Not here in this physical universe. And you can't convince a Christian of that. They think that God lives on what, some planet somewhere? Or in the sky? Or in our atmosphere? See, I've asked them, and they have no fucking clue. I said, well, this sounds like Hansel and Gretel or any other fucking story that I've heard. How can you tell me in any way other than what this book, that's also been manipulated after studying the history of such written material? I asked them, how do you show this to me in any concrete way? Any concrete way. Well, the Bible says they get fucking locked into that, and that's all they can say. Which tells me they're denying themselves God. In my book, they're denying a real God, a true God, a God that's going to forgive everyone. See? Doesn't matter what religion. You get saved just like a Christian. But, you know, if you're in that exclusive club, then you can send money to one of these evangelists who want to buy a new Gulfstream jet. So he can go out and save the world. Because God's told him, get this, $25 million jet, and you can drive around and tell people how much you love me. Wow. While fucking people are starving. Absolutely disgusting. It's horrible. I have never known a Christian who could describe to me in any way the universe that God created for them. Not a single one of them understands the difference or the non-difference between energy and matter. And that all matter exists in wave form on the quantum realm. They don't want to hear that. They don't want to understand it. They don't want to hear anything about where God might reside. The fact that there are other dimensions, and we know that there's other dimensions. They don't want to hear that. It's science. Science is bad. Science says that dinosaurs died out millions of years ago, and the Bible tries to convince you that dinosaurs and men walked at the same time. There are literally theme parks that try to convince you that humans and dinosaurs and Jesus all existed at the same time, and that the reason we have fossils is that Satan put them there to test your, as a test from God, to test your faith. Holy fuck. Are you kidding me? So, yeah, all religions are horrible. All religions take advantage of their flock, right? They can't survive without the money given to them. But when I see people like Peter Popoff, okay, I'll send you this packet of oil, and you rub it on you, and money will just come pouring through your mailbox. All you have to do is send me $25. Or all these other Pat Robinson, and you fucking name it, okay? Wow. A scientist has a disturbing theory for why we haven't met aliens yet. Wow. And he goes on to talk about, aliens will they're out conquering the universe and they don't have time for us. So why haven't we met them and been obliterated? Wow. This is so weird. I don't understand if this is fear propaganda, because, you see, that's what the military is going to need. How the fuck can they justify the trillions of dollars and lives wasted on the space program when they had space-capable vehicles in the late 50s? How are they going to fucking do that? You see, they need an enemy so they can come out and be the big heroes. For years, questions have divided scientists and sci-fi fans. What? Scientists and sci-fi fans? They're the only ones interested in philosophy? Wow. And conspiracy theorists. Oh, yeah, we got to throw conspiracy theorists in there. Russian physicist Alexander Berezin from the National Research University of Electronic Technology had a theory. He suggested that once a civilization reaches the capabilities of spreading across the stars, it will inevitably wipe out all other civilizations. What the fuck is that? That is so contrary to what an intelligent race would do. Absolutely the exact opposite.
That is not to say that there aren't bad species out there that are not individuals. In other words, they're not sentient, but they're technologically savvy. Okay? I'll guarantee you that they would look at us one fucking glimpse and erase us from the surface of this planet. So it's not like I avoid responsibility for saying, yeah, we need to think about what we're doing. But I can tell you, it's absolutely obvious we've already been protected. We know that there are many species that come here and visit us. We know this for a fact. Your government knows this for a fact. Wow. You see, there's negative and positive. You see how fucked up the United States has become just in 4 years from bad leadership? Not caring about people, not caring about others, not having compassion, not having honor, and all the things that make good. Yeah, I'm sure that species like us end up wiping themselves out all the fucking time. But by the time you become a truly spacefaring race, you don't need anything. There's only one valuable thing in the entire universe at that point, which this guy is fucking missing the point. Okay? When you can go out into just our asteroid belt and collect any and all materials you could ever need for civilizations for 1 billion years. All the gold, the platinum, whatever you fucking wanted or needed is out there in abundance for free. Already processed. Just go pick it up. Nothing has value. When you have the power of transmutation, which most of these civilizations will have, where you can take muons and quarks and make anything that you needed. Well, there's nothing that matters. There's nothing of value in the universe except life. That's why they haven't contacted us. That's why they choose to remain hidden to 99.9999% of the population. They've chosen to do that because it's the right thing to do. It's not a fucking mystery. That's why the Prime Directive carried a death sentence on Star Trek, because Gene Roddenberry had figured it out long ago, okay? That to go to a planet and interfere is exactly what happened to the Native Americans on the North American continent and the South American continent. People came here with their own ideas and views and just fucking took over. That's human. You see, if gold had no value, what would have happened? If humans didn't have this capitalistic view of fucking reality and everything they touch and do for the last 1,000 years, the last 2,000 years, what would the world be like if nothing had value but life? You see? To me, it's not a mystery to me why they don't want to contact us. It's wrong. They're sitting back, horrified, watching us lurch towards self-destruction. They're horrified, I'll guarantee you that. They want to help. Just like anyone would find a wounded animal somewhere, they would want to help. It's against the rules. It's against the basic, common, fundamental fucking rule of this universe, okay? Just like us saying, oh, we're going to go find a bunch of Earth inhabit-like planets and spread to all of them. That sounds like the fucking guys this guy's talking about, right? Species like humans. That's what happens when technology surpasses your spiritual ability to understand truth. The reason that they're not landing on, listen, they did. They flew over the fucking White House in a large formation. What did we do? Open fire! Come on! See, people, this Indy 100 is where this fucking article is at. What the fuck? Lou Staples. What the fuck, man? You know, philosophy seems to escape these fucking people. They go right to sci-fi and conspiracy theories. No wonder they're fucking lost in the way they're thinking about how the universe works. Only positivity survives. What, you haven't learned that through basic fucking biology and evolution, that bad ideas go to the wayside? Fuck. I am just so shocked as a human sometimes. Really, I'm fucking shocked at the shit people come up with trying to figure out something that's so beyond their thinking ability about pure spiritual intelligence. An intelligence that doesn't need anything. An intelligence that doesn't want another $1 billion in their fucking bank account. Spiritual intelligence. You understand what I'm saying here? Not everyone's fucking motivated in life by how much they can fucking get and have. Jeez, what? Oh, it's so fucking sad. No wonder our world is in such a shithole, right? Okay? The reason we need guns. Why do we need guns? Well, let's look back a little bit. For the obvious and truly only real reason to have a gun was to provide for your family. Provide for your community. Okay? You weren't running down no deer, man. If you wanted deer meat, you had to shoot a deer. Okay? Firearms made it easier than bow and arrow because, well, not everybody was good with a bow, and that's true today. The second reason, bad people. There's always going to be those people who, your life is nothing. Your life means nothing. They would shoot you as easy and without as much conscience as they would light a cigarette. That's because there's no one in there. That is a human body that has been raised with no spirit inside. It is simply a biomechanical device that learns and becomes what it sees around it, which is what? Television. The fucking boxes where parents stack their children. So now, what do you have? You have somebody that basically has seen 1,000 murders a week, has become completely immune to the idea that human life has any value. And those people are going to commit their crimes, guns or no guns. But this is the real, true reason we have guns today, is war. It's war. The human condition. That animal inside of us that can't get enough, doesn't have enough, wants more, can't get enough. Animal. The guy who wants to have billions of dollars in the bank, he's just as guilty as the guy that walks in a theater with a gun and kills people. He is just as guilty and is responsible for probably many, many times more deaths. It is the human condition is why we have guns. The fact we can't fucking get along. America has gone to war for oil the last, 15 years? We've been at war over oil? Oil! Thousands, hundreds of thousands of human lives snuffed out for oil. And it was done with guns of one kind or another. I consider a tube-fired mortar round or a rocket launcher all to be just guns of a different sort. Anytime you're throwing an object at another human being to take his life, it's a gun. Okay? Thank God that they don't sell those to the public, because I know some morons who would absolutely use them. They had no conscious thought about killing hundreds, thousands. This is the problem. The people in charge of your government, they've done that. They're more evil than any guy that's ever walked in a theater with a gun or shot children. or murdered children, okay? These people are way worse. They've killed way more people. They've destroyed way more lives. Until you can eliminate bad people, until you can solve the social problems that create these bad people, it's never going to end. You can't just take them and pick them and put them all away on an island somewhere, which is what I used to think. Give them their own space. Here you go. Have fun. You guys just go be animals with the other animals, and you guys can do whatever you want. That's how I used to think. Now I have a little more compassion in my old age. I understand that they were created by our society, that they had no choice. They didn't want to be in the position they're in. People that are in a bad place in their life didn't fucking ask for it. It's got nothing to do with guns. Okay? That's what we have to solve. We have to solve that problem first. Okay? Hungry, starving, uneducated, needing, desperate people. Okay? And then there's the other half. The intelligent guys who just can see the truth and just get so fed up they can't take it anymore and they friggin' snap. And they get an M16 and they go and they kill a bunch of people. There's no escaping it. It's the human condition. We've created the need to have them. Something, I'm sure there are many planets in our galaxy with intelligent life at our level that do not have guns. And every person on that planet is friends with every other person on the planet. There's no need. There's no desires. There's no, I gotta have more than this guy because I feel the need to be more friggin' important. Or to feel like I'm somebody. I'm sure there are places that don't have this kind of existence. I yearn for that, you know. I desire that so much. Unfortunately, I'm stuck here, okay, with, 7 billion other assholes like me who are stuck in this human condition and can't help but be animals because of what's in us. You know, your DNA, the way you're constructed, you can't help but feel your instincts. You know what I mean? You take a breath because you wish to live, and that's never going away in the human being. And this causes so many of our problems. People would, the doomsday preppers, they would rather kill people coming to get their food than share their food and starve to death when the time came with their fellow human. They would rather kill these people to live at any cost. I don't want those people left on the planet Earth. They're the disgusting shit that is here now. We suck. That's why we need gun control. Because we suck. We're animals. We don't behave ourselves. 22. Okay? You don't need an M16 or an AR-15 with a 30-round clip to make you feel like a man or for target practice. It's not necessary. Okay? If it's going to take you a 30-round clip to stop somebody, I'm afraid you're going to be spraying bullets friggin' everywhere and kill your damn neighbor. So, I hate to say it, but we have to have gun control. And we need it. We need it soon. Okay? I'm 100% for, if you transport a weapon over state lines, you go to prison. Okay? If you own a weapon illegally, you go to prison. Okay? I believe in clamping down on every single way on the manufacturers. These are the guys that are motivated to pump weapons every single week into our society because that's their business. This is where they make their money. Just like the military-industrial complex, the evil is part of it, and it can be stopped and regulated. But those are the people creating jobs and making money, and so we don't even look over there. Okay? Manufacturers need to be held accountable. They need to be stopped. I would put out quotas. I'd put 90% of them out of business because they couldn't stay in business with a quota system. Okay? There's no need to have an assembly line pumping out weapons when I know everybody I know has 4 or 5. 4 or 5. Not one. I don't know anybody with one. And they just pumping out these damn assembly lines over and over and over and over and over and over. Okay? How many AK-47s have taken lives, just in Africa for greed, for diamonds, for wealth, for money, for power, for anger, for racism, for religion, for whatever, right? That was a business for the Russians. Just pump those fucking things out, man. We're making lots of money on that. Keeps the government going. It's wonderful, right? So, I believe in gun control. I'm sorry. Condon Report. I'm going to tell you how they keep secrets. Okay? All you have to do is muddy the water. You don't have to disprove flying craft, because you can't. Because there's just an overwhelming mountain of evidence at this point. Okay? Especially with video cameras, and everybody's got a friggin' camera on them now. The Condon Report. Okay? Now, the Condon Report was supposed to take all the hocus-pocus lying bullshit out of the hands of the United States Air Force, who was basically the fox watching the hen house at that point. And they turned it over to the Condon Report. And the Condon Commission was supposed to do an objective study. Now, one of the inside guys, even before the Condon Report got started, Condon himself said that, I don't believe there's anything to this, but I'm not supposed to reach that conclusion for another year. Okay? This was a note written by one of the top scientists in the Condon Report. Okay, the trick would be, I think, to describe the project so that to the public, it would appear a totally objective study. But to the scientific community, would present the image of a group of non-believers trying their best to be objective, but having an almost zero expectation of finding a saucer. If we set up the thing right and take pains to get the proper people involved and have success in presenting the image we want to present to the scientific community, we could carry the job off to our benefit. Their job was to debunk flying saucers. It wasn't to see. It was a scientific investigation in no way. Now, when something like this happens, listen, you don't go through this much effort unless you're trying to hide something. You don't get intergroup messages like this unless you're trying to hide something. This is the problem. At this time and date, for me, this is the problem. You don't know what's theirs and what's ours now. So when you have a sighting, it could be ours. The missile test in Southern California, where they fired off the missile down to Coahuilan, that missile was flying at 14,000 miles an hour in a parabolic trajectory to the island. So it's going between 11 and 14,000 miles an hour, and a flying saucer comes into the frame that they have filmed, shoots light beams from different directions, circling around, firing light beams at the warhead, destroys the missile, and flies off. So they bring a guy in who's obviously going to talk about it, okay? And they convinced him it was a UFO. And I imagine the people that he was talking to, the colonel or general, whoever the fuck he was talking to in the Air Force, he didn't know either. Not everybody's involved. This is the whole point here, okay? It's a very, very, very small group of individuals here that are in the know. That was a military test. That was not a UFO. That was a United States Air Force faster-than-light vehicle testing their a laser that's being powered by their zero-point energy source, okay, which means no more giant chemical lasers in 747s. We're talking about a very small package here, okay? Which is why, we had the element 115 taken away from us, because we were using it to focus energy and turning it into a weapon, which is what humans do, right? So that was a military test. So what do? They get this guy to blab his mouth about how the UFO came and shot down a missile, and how he filmed it, and how he was told not to talk about it. And he's talking about it. Okay? That's smoke and mirrors. That's exactly how you do it. That was a military test. Can you imagine how secret that has to be kept? Can you imagine what would happen if the Russians and the Chinese knew that their nuclear deterrent force was absolutely useless? Non-functional. People don't understand what you can do with that kind of power and that kind of speed. Okay? You can fire 500 missiles at the United States, and none of them are going to even get out of the atmosphere if you have a faster-than-light craft with that kind of weaponry. You're talking about shooting things down that are from the atmosphere that are 10,000 miles in any direction and doing it instantaneously. You don't have to fly up to the missile. I imagine that was some sort of, navigational propulsion test in itself. Okay? So, yeah. That's all you have to do. Smoke and mirrors, muddy the, and they've done it the whole time. And anybody who goes to talk about it gets laughed at and called some kind of Looney Tunes. You know what I mean? Right? And that's why scientists won't touch it. But see, they're in on it. They're a disgrace. Okay, the scientific community in the United States of America is a fucking disgrace. You got that? Please, I hope somebody hears this out there in the scientific community. You're a fucking disgrace to the human race and our planet Earth. You might as well not be a scientist. Go get a job serving fast food somewhere, okay? Because your education did not serve us nor you. It served the secret government. So the scientific community, you're a disgrace. You're an absolute fucking disgrace. Do you think, with all this information and all the people coming forward, for God's sakes, the second guy in charge of the CIA went and talked to aliens at Area 51. He went at the president's command, the president said he was going there with the First Army and take over Area 51 if the information was not divulged. When you have people like that coming forward, you can only hide so much information, okay? Yet the scientific community refuses to look at it because they don't want to lose their credibility, any government grants they might have, the school where they work. See? Same reason cops don't want marijuana legalized, because there goes their fucking job. Yeah, smoke and mirrors. That's all you got to do. Just muddy the water. You don't have to completely, hide the fact that there's fish living under the surface. You just have to muddy the water so you can't see them. Simple as that. That's how it works, and that's how they keep it a secret. But it's not a secret, is it? We all know. Me and thousands of other people have been informed, okay, over the last 30 years about the truth. It's not that hard. So you think that the scientific community would be all over this life from another planet visiting us. Okay, so somebody's fucking scared, and I'll tell you who it is. I'll tell you who it is. It's the 1%. It's the people keeping the secrets from the planet. It's the people hoarding the energy, the new energy sources from the planet. Those are the people that are in fucking trouble. Those are the people, if anyone shows up on our planet with the yardstick, those are the people that are going to get their hands swatted. Trust me. Not us. If they wanted us, if they wanted to get rid of us, all you have to do is go out there, maybe, let's say, the asteroid belt. And just nudge an asteroid just a tiny little bit, maybe 7, 10 miles in diameter, just nudge it over here, we're done. Simple, you don't even need technology. All you have to do is just a little nudge, and the thing leaves orbit, and the trajectory, boom. Next thing you know, humans are gone. It's just that fucking simple, and they could have done it over and over and over and over again. Anytime they wanted to take us out, they could take us out. So, yeah, it's that 1% group that we all talk about, the evil fucking bastards who have this system of extraction in place, and this obscenely, disgustingly sick level of arrogance that lets them think they have the knowledge and the moral fortitude to rule the planet, which is exactly what they're fucking doing. Okay, these people are raised to be put in those positions. Raised, educated, okay, brainwashed, fucking manipulated to be put into those positions. That's how you keep secrets. And when someone goes to talk, like, maybe John F. Kennedy and his brother, you just fucking murder them. Right? Marilyn Monroe made a phone call talking about the boys were going to tell her about the little aliens, and you know what? Boom, she was fucking dead too. Those are the people in charge of your country. They killed your fucking president. They killed one of the greatest men in our history. Okay, one of our greatest presidents. They fucking killed him to keep their secret. Because they looked at him as, hey, you're just some rich fucking punk from Kennebunkport, my man. You're only here for 4 years. You're fucking nobody. We've been here for 30. We run the country. He just fucking bumped him off. And even the head of the program isn't safe. He fell out of his hospital window and died. Fell out. So, yeah, it's easy to keep a secret if you're ruthless. I want to straighten something out. NASA is not on our side. Okay, and I get letters saying that. What about NASA? Listen, NASA is... Let me tell you about NASA. I've heard the term colonize and, colonization of space 10,000 times from that group. They think that is their mandate, okay, is colonizing space with humans. Listen, that scares the fuck out of me. That's a disgusting thought for me. Disgusting. Why? Because I'm an American Indian. I've watched displacement in my lifetime with my relatives, okay? Look at the Aborigines in Australia. The Australians keep that so quiet. Okay, but it's apartheid going on down there. Basically, individual prisons for Aboriginals. I mean, basically, when you talk to the entire white population about Aboriginals, they talk to them the same way that Southerners talked about blacks. Fucking disgusting. Okay? What did the Spanish do when they got to South America? Huh? Look at colonization. What did whites do to the American Indian in the United States? This was their country, and they came and just fucking took it. Why? Well, the Indians weren't living in a high enough standard for them, so therefore they're savages. When I hear someone at NASA talk about colonizing space, I get a fucking shiver down my spine. Okay? That's never going to happen, folks. Colonizing space is never going to happen because one day we're going to find out that's a fucking no-no. Okay, that is one of the most horrible, ugly, fucking animalistic things a being can think about, is taking another fucking planet somewhere. That's going to have life someday. If it's livable, it's going to have life someday. And if it's got life on it, if it's a beautiful planet without any intelligent life will arise someday. It's what the universe does. It's why it creates planets. That's not ours to take, because it's that there's not a vacant sign on the door. Okay? And that's what you hear them talk about constantly, fucking colonizing space. Why? Listen to the reasons for colonizing space. Okay? Planetary resources are exhausted. So when we exhaust our planetary resources, we're just going to go to another fucking planet and rape that one, right? Is that what we do? Because that is a fucking virus. That's what a virus does. That's how a virus exists. It's disgusting. Okay? When I hear that, I know those people are not good. That in their heart, in their soul, okay? Those kind of people that can say that with a feeling of, that it's apropos, no. You're bad. You're very bad. You have something wrong, fucking wrong with you, okay, up here, if you think colonizing space is something that humans should be doing. Now, if we had learned how to take care of our planet, if we were living with our planet, if we weren't fucking poisoning it, if we weren't killing it and extracting from it in so many ways, then I would think, well, maybe we could go out and start exploring. But as it is right now, the first time we go out to explore and we find something valuable, there's some money-grubbing fucking ass fuck on planet Earth, okay, that will kill millions to get it. Why? Because they'll be savages. They won't be up to our civilized standard.